Thomas Jones and Jamal Charles. Without them two, they're not going to win games.
I'm with you on the run. People run all over us like crazy.
I think they're going to trickle through and realize that Fitzpatrick really is what they need on the field.
Ryan Fitzpatrick is the starter.
They cut Trent and they got rid of Marshawn.
The line did not block either way.
To Stevie Johnson, that was just heartbreaking.
The Bills have to learn how to win. They got to learn how to shut the door.
You're just talking about quarterbacks? I don't think the Bills need to draft a quarterback.
Hi, and welcome to the Buffalo Pregame Show for Week 1 against the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah, first game.
Woo! All right, top story: Matt Cassel, rib injury, last game of the preseason. Kia, go.
I'm hoping that he plays only because I don't like playing against backups. Because you never know what you're gonna get because you haven't really studied him. So I'd rather him play and go for the person we know. If we knock him out the game, that's a whole different story. But I would rather see him start.
All right, Randy, what?
I don't think there's a way that he doesn't play. Todd Haley's from the Belichick tradition. The injury report's just part of the smoke and mirrors routine that he's going to run every chance he gets to try to get a mental advantage or whatever he thinks on you. I expect Cassel to play. If any other reason, the Chiefs are all in on the Matt Cassel bandwagon. Palco's taken a few snaps as a third stringer last year, and he's just not the long-term answer. That being said, I would like to see Kyle Williams and Marcel Darius show that they know he has hurt ribs too. Let's be that team that goes out and you have a weakness, but we're going to expose it. Let's get those big guys hitting him in the ribs. It's really the only place you can hit a quarterback anymore anyway.
All right, offensive breakdown. There's a lot of new starters on offense. Will Haley know Gailey's game plan? What do you think?
I don't think that the fact that they coached together 2 years ago is big a situation. Gailey had very different tools in Kansas City than he did here in Buffalo. I think the most important thing about the new starters list that we have here in Buffalo is what's missing. You can find me one informed fan in all of America who doesn't think that Garrard's a better starter than Fitzpatrick. But there's not a single report where Buffalo is mentioned as a possible suitor for Garrard. Everyone knows the Bills have given up on this season. They've got as much money invested in their team as they're going to. We haven't tried to improve our team by trade or by free agency. We just have to accept the Bills are giving up and hope for Andrew Luck next year.
No optimism there. I don't know.
It's still the first game. We have a 500 record already, and we've given up. Which I mean, I'm with you on the whole Garrard thing. When I heard he got cut, I was like, yes, maybe the Bills will go after him. But I know realistically that's not going to happen because we're not paying anybody.
We could face him next week. Raiders are talking about picking him up too.
Yeah,
They're crazy.
All right, defensive breakdown. How will the new front do against Jones and and Charles? All right, so what do you think of Nikita?
It'll be interesting to see how our defense plays, especially with Sean Merriman being back in there, and we still have Kyle Williams, and of course our first-round draft pick. We have to see was he worth the pick. Our secondary is also pretty much not the same as it was last year, so it'll definitely be interesting to see, how those guys mesh together because during the preseason, they didn't look so great. So I'm hoping that they all come together and we can stop Jamal Charles and the rest of the group.
What I want to say though, pertaining to what the Chiefs offense or defense is thinking about us, since we don't have all those starters on offense that we had before. Maybe they're underestimating what we have as wide receivers and as weapons. I think that they're underestimating us. I think they will, and I think Fitzpatrick will do better because of that. Or what do you think?
On our offense?
Yeah.
I think the wide receiver core is mediocre at best. If Fitzpatrick is going to find places to connect, it's going to be in the seams, maybe one of our no-name tight ends or CJ Spillick out in the backfield. But then again, the Chiefs' defensive secondary is a bunch of no-names too. I don't see them coming up with huge turnovers. I don't know. Say what you will about the Chiefs. A lot of people are saying they're an up-and-coming team. I think they're mediocre at best. I think we need a strong play from our defense. Our linebacker core is going to be key. We have the best defensive line that we've had since Bruce Smith was on the team, so we've done the best we can there. Our secondary is not going to come up with any pressure sacks, so we really need confusion and strong play from the linebacker. We kept 11 linebackers on the final roster for this team, and we really need a good rotation to keep Merriman healthy, all the other veterans. But I worry about, as we go down the depth chart, how the quality of play we're going to get from your 11th linebacker on the team.
Yeah.
We really need the linebackers against a mediocre team to come out and show they can dominate someone, because if not the next 2 weeks, we're really in trouble on defense.
Yeah, I need to see it all this season. I'm worried. I mean, if the draft pick does good, I think we'll be decent. I mean, we could stop last year, but I think we're more mature than last season. All right, now it's time for a segment that Rary will be doing weekly on the show, and here it is.
Welcome to the first rendition of Worse Than the Bills, where I search high and low for a franchise that is in fact worse than the Bills. This week's franchise, the Orlando Titans of the National Lacrosse League. They started off in New York, and in their 4 seasons in existence, they won or were tied for first in their division every single year, though they were the bridesmaids of the NLL, always the bridesmaid, never the bride, never winning the championship, similar to the Bills. Even though their good record, they could only survive 3 years in the biggest city in the country when they moved to Orlando, became the Orlando Titans. In less than the season, the players were suing to get the payment from the ownership. They weren't getting paid for the games. These players make like $14 grand a year. You could sell 7 beers to cover these people's salaries, and the ownership wasn't even following through with that. They went defunct despite their regular season championships, and are no longer in existence. So, sorry Orlando Titans, you are worse than the Bills.
Alright, and now it's time for the keys and picks of the game. We'll do keys first. Keita, what's your key to the game?
I think our key is our defense. We spent money on defense. We picked a lot of defensive players. So if you're going to spend that kind of money and all those picks, then they need to step up and stop Jamal Charles. And if Matt Cassel plays, not that we need to be dirty, but his ribs are hurt. He might need to sit on the bench for a while.
I agree. My only thing with, I was gonna kind of say, like defense, but my only thing with that was that, even last time we played them, we played the bend not break. So I think even if their offense gets, like 200 yards rushing, I still think we have a shot at the game. I don't know. It'll be very disappointing, with all the stuff we put into our defensive line, but I don't think it's key. My key to the game is those wide receivers that I talked about earlier. If they get involved, Fitzpatrick can get them involved, and they can exploit the Kansas City cornerbacks, I think that we'll do good. What's your key?
I think we need to do the one thing we've been so miserable at the past couple of years, and that's get an early start. Let's see a touchdown on the opening drive. We're on the road. Let's shut those Kansas City fans up. Like, what do they have to cheer for? They're raging meth addictions. Forget the Kansas City Chief fans. Let's score early and stay right on top of them.
All right, and now it's time for the picks of the game. My pick of the game is the Bills will win their first game of the year and have a winning record for first time in a long time. And they'll win 28-21, which is...
I'm going with you. I want us to start the season out on a good note. But I'm going with 24-21 last minute Ryan Lindell field goal.
Okay, what's yours?
I'm going to say the Buffalo Bills are going to get more than doubled up by the Kansas City Chiefs. 27-13, the Chiefs take their home opener.
Yeah, the Kansas City fans are pretty meth addicted. All right, now I would like to thank you for joining us this week. If you have any questions you'd like to discuss on the show, leave the comments. Also, we kind of want to make the show better. We're always trying to improve. So any thoughts on that, you can leave those comments also. Sorry for being sick this week. My voice is a little hoarse. It happens. People get sick. And join us next week for the Raiders.
All right, week 1 for first win of the season.
Even though you didn't pick them.
Yeah.
The Raiders, we're gonna beat the Raiders.